with journals, art, projects, organized, planner, chic.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, first, I want to thank all my Patreon members who help make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you guys so much. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Okay, you guys, it's time for me to show you guys what is going, or tell you guys and show you guys what all is going on for my trip to Tokyo in 2020. Yay! Believe it or not, it's happening this year, which is just so exciting because I started planning so early and started doing my traveler's notebook videos for this trip. And of course, there have been changes throughout, and I've got some updates. We have bought our plane tickets, and we've got some plans finalized. I've been doing some Japanese studies, and so I need to update that traveler's notebook and just kind of clean it up and make some little decorative changes as well. So let's get to it. Well, here she is again, you guys. Same traveler's notebook, and really the only aesthetic thing I really did on the outside is you see how smooth the edges are. Well, before they weren't, because I had put framer's tape around the outside before I put the gold paint on there, and I made the tape stick out too far on the sides, and it made the elastic really pull, and it just looked bad. And so I trimmed that, and then I glued the ends, the edges, and I painted the gold over it, and it looks so much neater. It just I just look so much better now. So there's my passport again, and that nice insert that I got from Amazon. Dashboard from my Etsy shop, same one. And then I did make a change in this insert that's coming up, but first I wanted to show you this really cool pen I got from Dollar Tree. It is a nice 0.5 millimeter felt tip black pen, 2 in a pack. A great deal. You guys check it out. If you want a good felt tip pen for cheap, go to Dollar Tree. Yes. Now you're not going to do art that you want to last for 100 years because it's going to fade, but you can write and they work really well. So I made this spreadsheet, you guys, that I wanted to show you, and I used a tape runner to adhere it to the inside of that first insert with the birds, and it's how I'm tracking everything for those of us who are going on the trip to Japan. My mom, my son, my niece, and I. They call me Cindy. My whole family has always called me Cindy ever since I was born, so that's why that's there. And so this covers our flights from our homes, my son and I from Phoenix, my mom and my niece from Tulsa and Dallas, to LAX, and then LAX, the LA airport, to Tokyo in Japan. Everything else, our lodging, our food, all of that. Anything that's in black has been paid for, and red has been budgeted. It's just not time to pay for it yet. And so you could see my balance so far right there. And what I'm going to do now is just take the information that's on that spreadsheet and transfer it to the areas that I had set up in my traveler's notebook that were designated for those different budget areas. So I just took off, I sped it up, you guys, because it was taking forever to write all that, and you guys would have been bored to death. So I took off stickies, and on those stickies I had notes about what we had talked about between the four of us in planning for the trip, and things to look for. Well, now that we've made our decisions on what we're doing, I could take those stickies out, which were like place markers basically, and put the actual details. And there on the left was my budget, manual spreadsheet, but I set up my savings for the trip as automatic withdrawals from or automatic transfers from my checking and savings. So I didn't really need to track that anymore, but it's there, so I'm marking it. And yeah, I'm just putting all the little details about everything that we decided, and I'm so excited, y'all. Can you tell? And I'm just going back through and looking at the spreadsheet, making sure that I haven't missed anything, and that I'm clarifying what was an actual expense and what has been budgeted, so that I will go back and write down what the actuals are once we're finished, because you never know, there might be some hidden fee or some unexpected expense that is associated with one of those things that we have down there. For instance, we're going to what is the park called? Not Disney World, but yeah, I think it is Disney Tokyo. So like we've estimated based on what we understand what the cost would be, but it might be more, and maybe some of my spending money. Well, no, that doesn't apply. Spending money, we haven't really talked about our own spending money other than just those events that we're going to. But anyway, anything that changes, we'll clarify that or update that for the actuals. Yeah. So then we come to the section that was on language, and I'm just going to flip really quickly through this section because I covered it in other videos until we get to the latest stuff. So I spent a lot of time learning hiragana. Yeah, that's my awful passport picture. Hiragana and katakana. I still really don't know any kanji yet, but I'll learn that as I go. But I spent really too much time on that, messing around, and this Traveler's Notebook was not the best source for me to really study the language. So you'll see here in a moment that I changed my studies into a Traveler's Notebook, not Traveler's Notebook, a bullet journal that I'm actually studying in. I picked it up a little bit in the fall, but I've been dedicated to working on it a little bit every day starting in January of 2020. I started doing that. So I'm just going to write out all of the greetings that I know so far. And I'm just checking myself since I'm putting it in this Traveler's Notebook that I'm going to take with me. I need to make sure it's correct. But I didn't want to bore you with watching me do that for all the greetings. So we're going to jump here in just a second for you to just kind of see what they are. And, this is just some plain, inexpensive paper in this insert. And so the felt tip kind of bleeds through. I guess it's more of a shadow. It's just a really huge shadow because it's really thin paper. So I highlighted one color what the characters are and another color what it is in English, just so I could see it a little bit better. And so you might remember this from a previous video as well. It was a tracker for all the things that we needed to do leading up to the trip, just kind of a monthly tracker of timeline. And I didn't even list everything in here, but I wanted to try to hold myself responsible or accountable to be working on the language every month, to be working on understanding more about the culture every month. And I did okay. When you plan really far ahead, sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes you wait on stuff. So I'm just going through here and marking. I did cross out creating art in here. I decided not to do that because really I want to be doing the art when we're on the trip, and I don't want to be spending a lot of time doing art in here leading up to the trip and less time on studying the language and the culture and really preparing for being there. Yeah, and that's it, that's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All of my subscribers get an additional discount from my Organized Planner Chic Etsy shop, and that discount is in the description below. And in my shop, I make Traveler's Notebooks and TN accessories for all TNs or all Traveler's Notebooks. And then I also make bullet journal cover page art for the different months. I make journaling cards, printable stickers, and Fauxbonichi Weeks printables to make your own Fauxbonichi. Also, check me out on Instagram at Organized Planner Chic, where I post all of my creative ventures and adventures. Also, I have 2 Facebook groups. The local one is called Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ, and we meet once a month and have lots of planner fun. And then the one that's for anyone around the world is called Organized Planner Chic Crew, and there we do giveaways and exchanges and try to stay in touch daily. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, happy planning!